Good afternoon. Thank you very much. You may be seated. First of all, I want to welcome you, all members of our education team, to the White House this afternoon for what is a very, very important week. I believe in the last over the last 3 years, we've talked a lot about education and the importance of education. Later on this week, we'll be rolling out over to Chicago to talk to the fine folks over there about what the plans are for our Back to Basics education program, um, which I really think is going to change lives in our country. It's going to uh, increase learning. It's also going to get more teachers in the classroom and better teacher retention. But today we want to kick off this week starting to talk about. I stand here today to talk to you in support of our STEM education enhancement program, but also to introduce an integral facet of our educational vision of Back to Basics, a comprehensive education revitalization initiative. This initiative embodies a holistic approach to education, recognizing the fundamental pillars that form the bedrock of a thriving society. Allow me to outline this plan here this afternoon that encapsulates our commitment to revitalizing education across our schools in not only the Washington area, but throughout the country. The first thing that we're going to work to change is curriculum revamp. We acknowledge the importance of fundamental skills, literacy, and numeracy, and they're serving as a cornerstone of every child's educational journey. Through revamped curriculum, we aim not only just to teach, but to ensure comprehension, and engagement, uh, and a love for learning from the very foundation. And what I'm basically saying there is, there's been ever since 2020, and even maybe a little bit beforehand, and especially during the days of the pandemic, there was so much talk of this of woke education going on about book bans, about changing what our children need to learn. Back to Basics is simply a program that will be rolled out in my administration that will simply teach our children the ABCs, the one, two, threes, the good, the bad, the ugly of history. Not the sanitized version of history, but all versions of history. And that's how we learn. We don't need to we don't need to censor, we don't need to color code or hide our history. In order for us not to repeat the mistakes that our generation or other generations in our country have done, we have to teach that. Did we always do things perfect in our country? Absolutely not. But we owe it to this generation to teach them those lessons. Hard or not, they need to be taught those lessons. And that starts with comprehensive history education. Our commitment extends beyond numbers and letters. We envision a curriculum that presents an inclusive and balanced view of our nation's history, encompassing both of its triumphs and tribulations. We seek to cultivate critical thinking by encouraging discussions on historical events, fostering a deeper understanding and appreciation for our collective past, and most importantly, teacher support. And that hits home for me. I'm honored to be married to a professional educator she's been an educator for almost 30 years. And we have to support our teachers. If you heard me talk throughout the last couple of years, I've talked about the, the teacher pay situation and how many of our teachers are living from paycheck to paycheck. Some are on the are living in poverty. Why is that? Why are the guardians of our nation's future having to struggle to survive? Back to Basics will solve that. Teacher support. The significance of educators cannot be overstated. We pledge to elevate the profession by increasing teacher pay to reflect their invaluable role. Moreover, we are dedicated to providing ongoing professional development opportunities, ensuring educators have the tools and knowledge to inspire and empower our future generations. We have to give them the tools to do their job, and we also shouldn't threaten their jobs by difficulties that they're having in the classroom. Let me clarify what I say by that. Oftentimes, standardized test scores, the teachers are, their jobs are at risk. I want to make standardized testing more of a benchmark of where we're at and see what we need to work on and improve, not hold something over to the teacher and said, you didn't achieve the goals here. You didn't, your class wasn't up to a certain percentile. That's it. Now, there's going to be standards, of course, obviously, that you have to uphold, but we're not going to hold, under my administration, we're not going to hold standardized testing over you. You know, community engagement education is a cooperative effort. We aim to bridge the gap between schools and communities, involving parents and stakeholders in workshops, forums, and outreach programs. Together, we create a supportive environment that nurtures growth for both students and teachers. And I think it's important to have the community that the school is located in and the school itself integrated and involved. I know back home where Andrea teaches in Texas, the district, the parents are involved. I know coming up this week, there's a lot of Christmas events, Christmas programs, Christmas pageants and shows and such, and the parents are involved. The parents are there. They want to be involved. They want to be a part of us, and that's part of it. That's part of having them engaged and along for the ride. You know, and the other thing is technology integration. We need to be embracing the benefits of technology. We will equip our educators with the resources and training necessary to effectively integrate technology into the learning process, enhancing the educational experience for all. And that does include all the online learning activities. I know that we had a lot of issues with that during COVID, but we're going to make improvements on that system. We're going to make it where it's better than it was during COVID, and so that's part of our Back to Basics plan. You know, evaluation and improvement, continuous improvement is the cornerstone of progress. We commit to regularly assessing the effectiveness of our educational approach, welcoming feedback from students, teachers, and parents to redefine our methods. You know, resource allocation. Schools are the basis of knowledge. We promise adequate resources allocation, ensuring access to updated materials, technologies, and support services for every school. Again, not only within the Washington area, but also nationwide. You know, and that's one of the things is the shortage of supplies. Back to Basics is going to ensure that every classroom throughout our nation has the materials it needs to function. You know, the other thing we're working on is equality and inclusion. Our mission includes addressing disparities in education. We are dedicated to equal distribution of resources and opportunities, ensuring that every student, irrespective of background or location, has an equal chance to thrive. You know, and it shouldn't matter on the child's background. Every person in this country, every child has a right to a good quality education. This Back to Basics program will deliver that good quality education. We owe it to them. You know, it's not just this is not just a program. It's not just another Washington name that we're going to roll out. It's a commitment to nurturing well-rounded individuals equipped with both foundational skills and a deep understanding of the world around them. Together, let us pave the path to a future where education is not a privilege, but a universal right. And it should not be a privilege. Like I said, every person, every child in this country has the right to a good education. And I've said this more than once in classrooms throughout this country. You never know who is sitting in your classroom. You may have the next president of the United States. You may have the next senator, congressman, doctor, lawyer, even the next astronaut, even maybe an astronaut to explore another planet. But those origins begin in our classroom with the instruction we give them by the teachers who are equipped properly to deliver that education. I want to thank you very much. And again, this administration is supporting and will support education wholeheartedly. I believe it is the most important thing our country can do. Oftentimes I've talked about it being as important as national defense. It is as important as national defense because the boys and girls in our nation's classroom are our national defense. They're our future. May God bless you. May God bless our troops. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all very much. Thank you.